YouTube is so ghetto. YouTube is literally so ghetto. Go live. Okay, let's put this here. Okay, hello everyone. Thank you. We're gonna go live. We are going live across platforms. And then let me see. Okay, Facebook is running finally. YouTube is running. Okay, so yeah, this is just this stuff. Okay, so the people who generally watch the most are on Tangled, so they get a full half screen. And then Facebook is kind of a hit or miss when it comes to the comments. So we're going to put that one up here, of course. And then we're going to put the insights down here. And then we're going to actually minimize this and move this over here. Okay. Hello, everyone. We are getting the stream set up right now. Instagram. Danny. What's up, Danny? I'm not sure which Danny this is, though. Thanks for coming to hang out. I appreciate it. Bullard Danny. I'm sorry if I don't know everybody's Instagram. What's up, Spectral? Thanks for coming to hang out. And then Gabe. What's up, Gabriel? Thanks for coming to hang out. I am setting things up currently. I don't want to give everything away just yet. Chaco. What's up, Chaco? I am not even looking at the comments on Facebook yet. Okay, where did everything go? Facebook is reloading for some strange reason. I can't tell you why, because it's Facebook. And they do, okay, here we go. And of course, they moved everything. They moved everything after I literally already moved it back to how I wanted it. But forget about me, though. How are you guys? How do you feel? How is your day? Gabriel, what's up? We are live on 5 platforms. Or 4? Yeah, we're live on 4 platforms. And I'm trying to do my best to share everything as much as possible. Okay. At highlight. Come hang out. Okay, like I said, we're live on Tangled, of course. It's our home base. Saludos, amigo. Yeah, maybe it's not the best time to be. Oh, okay, there's a few more people. Maybe it's not the best time to be live, but I did tell everybody that I was going live between 6 and 7, and it is between 6 and 7. Please let me know if my mic is too loud, because the feedback that I'm getting is huge. But my headphones volume was also really high too, so that could have been it. I am just going to check to make sure. Let's see. For some reason, it's not saying that I'm live on my own Instagram. So I have to switch my profiles and check. Okay, it says that I'm live. It says we're live. Awesome. Okay, I hope you guys are ready to get this show on the road. So a lot of the times they're asking me to like leave notifications. Okay. Sorry guys. They're asking me to leave notifications on like Instagram and stuff like that. But I'm live on Instagram, so I don't know what to tell you guys if you're not looking. I can't help you. YouTube. Okay, here's YouTube. What's up, Lilith? Thanks for coming to hang out. I'm glad I sound alright. Sorry, I couldn't. I've lost YouTube. Let me move this over so that there's enough space for YouTube chat too. Okay, hold on. Come on. No, stop. Okay, I have to move this all the way over here so that there's more space. Spiral, you made it. Ramona, hello. Thank you for coming to join us. How are you doing today? For some reason, oh, come on. How am I supposed to do this? No. I know. I can do it like this. There we go. Now it fits. Lilith, so I see you a lot more often now than before. I'm just not exactly sure like since when. And now the buzzing is gonna start. Oh my goodness. I hope you guys can't hear that. If you can hear it, let me know. And I will go through every single last window to turn it off. Lilith, your name is super nice, but it makes it impossible to tag you. Which I guess that's cool if you want to stay away from like creeps. You want people to not be able to like harass or bother you. I'm super sneaky, so you see me sometimes you don't. That is for sure. Philosophia. Okay. So I run two Instagram channels. One is Philosophia Novexis. The other one is Our Junius Broadcast, where in Our Junius Broadcast, which hasn't been updated in a little bit, we talk about vegan stuff. And over here, which also hasn't been updated in a little bit, I put my updates. Updates. We are live. Come hang out. Oh man. Okay. So I just wish it's on top chat, but I need to put it in live chat. So it's in live chat mode now. Gosh. Okay, that's gonna be a doozy. So give me a second. If I can do it in one go, I would be very happy. General. Usually that's all you have to do. And it'll turn it off, but it just depends on which window it is. Updates. We are live. Come hang out. Okay, not that one. Oops. Each rid each lingen. Okay, is it this one? Okay, there we are. So that has my link tree in it, so you guys can all come hang out if you want. Now we're gonna go get on Tangled, and I'm still hearing the dinging, so I gotta go. Just give me a second, guys, while I change the settings in every single tab that I have open, because it's a lot. It's a lot of tabs. I made it. Is it muted? I can't hear. No, it's not muted. Did you check your video like I said, or clear your cache for the app? So there are some people on Tangled who are saying that they can't hear. They're having trouble hearing, and I think the issue is the same problem other people were having when they first joined, and they weren't clearing their cache. They weren't clearing their cache all the way out. So let's give some shout outs to some people. I think I'm actually going to move this around too, because it's actually harder to see it this way. So we're going to move it to this side, widen this out. Yeah, now I can see you guys. Thank you for everybody on Instagram who has come to hang out. I appreciate it. We are trying our best right now to get the stream running properly, but I have a lot of windows open, and I only have two monitors. So in the future, I might have to put my third monitor out, which means that I might have to put my computer on the ground, which is what I do not want to do. AV and Maribels. Is that Marlena? Hey, Marlena. What's up? So we're on Tangled right now. So I'm just gonna give a shout out really quick. Usually I have like an opening spiel. Should I give you guys the opening spiel? Look, my computer, I don't know if it can handle me opening all these different tabs. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see if it can handle this. Last time it crashed. Like it literally crashed out. Okay. So let's just do this really quick. Hello and welcome everyone. I am Sinfully Cerebral coming to you live from Tangled, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And today's topic, we will be going over some Neogenian updates as well as talking about men's mental health. And I originally didn't want to talk about men's mental health because, wow, who cares about them? But like, I had this crazy incident happen in the first live stream I did this morning. It's just a regular hangout live stream that I do on Tangled. And so it just had me kind of thinking about how I can present this information in a way that is digestible to people and also educational. So I just figured that we would just do a stream on men's mental health, and I'm actually pretty excited to get to that. But of course, we have to get through the Neogenian update first. There's a lot of new videos that have come out. We are behind on some videos, so we won't be watching everything. Like Exploring the Holos has 2 new videos out that I have not seen from last Friday and this Friday, so I'm behind on Exploring the Holos' updates. So I will be sharing links with everyone. Mark, thanks for coming to hang out. I appreciate that. Ryan, hello. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm live on 5 platforms right now, or 4. I can't tell. But there's a lot of chats going on. Yes, please do the mental health. We are definitely going to talk about that. I already have a video pulled up that is going to be our opening to the subject, and I'll probably look up some statistics. And if you guys have questions, we can also go to ChatGPT and talk about some stuff with the AI there and see what kind of responses we get, okay? Because honestly, the censorship when it comes to talking about men online is insane. You can literally be muted online, put in some type of online jail that prevents you from commenting if you as so much as say like this, like you criticize men in the smallest way. And it's not even saying something like you're calling a particular person bad, or like you're saying all men are like horrible or shitty or anything like that. It's not anything like that. You can just like have a critique and have the word men in that critique, and the algorithms will flag your comment and block you from making any more comments for anywhere from 12 to 24 to up to 7 days. So I do think that there is some kind of like weird cultiness behind why we can't talk about this publicly. But I just think that we're going to just, hang out and talk about just random stuff anyway. So, and yes, Jan is streaming tonight. So just a reminder to not forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Tell all your friends about me. I appreciate it. In the description of this video, except for on Instagram, in the description of the video itself, you'll be able to find my link tree where you'll be able to follow me and support me on a myriad of platforms, okay? I'm everywhere, and there's plenty of places that I'm at that I still haven't made it to the link tree yet, just because I have not reformatted them for this type of material. And then on Instagram, if you are interested in supporting me, my link tree is in the bio of my page, okay? So, a quick shout out to all of my Neogenian supporters: Renaissance Fairy, This Neogenian Life, Art Prompter, Vibrational, Heretical Response, Exploring the Holos, We Are Eternal, which is in the chat as Ryan Roy. And of course, Mark is coming to hang out. We also have Pooks that has been supporting us excellently on Facebook. Joanna Laguna has been supporting us on Facebook a lot, has even come over to Tangled. Appreciate that. Mary, thank you for jumping in on the Facebook live stream. Can you share it? Because I'm streaming on my Sinfully page, and usually I'm streaming from my personal page on Facebook. So not everybody is going to see it. Thank you for also joining over on Instagram, whichever one helps you. But if you could just at least share the Facebook post, I would appreciate that greatly. And so I know that is a long introduction. What am I supposed to do? Do you see? First of all, it took me 20 minutes pretty much to get just all of the live streams synchronized to stream properly at the same time. Like, it's crazy. Okay, let's give some shout outs to our latest new followers on Tangled, which seem to be a little bit all over the place. We have Tal, then we have Sam Rami, sounds pretty cool. Princess, Lara, Shami, Abduck, and then Raza has followed our Fandom Nexus page. And then this Kanye, I can't, the JSJSJN. Cool. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. We're going to go over to the Neogenian page for Tangled that I pretty much host and manage, but we have a lot of our Neogenians who come over here and update it. So Renaissance Fairy has this new video on YouTube that usually isn't too long, so we'll probably look at that today. It's about 10 minutes, so we'll spend a little bit of time on that. And last time we talked about me and my shadow that they updated. I think Lara also had, this Neogenian Life also had an update recently on Tangled. So we're going to go look at their poem, because I think that should be, it's pretty simple. They're putting up some pretty cool pictures. Oh yeah, they're putting up all of their different AI generated art. This is what they've been doing. Look at how lovely this is. Just absolutely gorgeous. Thank you guys for saying hi to each other in the comments. Joanna Laguna, thank you so much for coming to hang out. I definitely appreciate that. I was literally just asking Mary from the kindness of her heart to share the video. So hopefully it has helped everyone get out there and see this live stream. Yeah, I don't think we did this poem, and this is from 10 days ago. So this is specifically the one specifically. Like, did I miss it? Because I did stream 6 days ago. Personally, hold on. Yeah, I guess we missed this one. It was right after the Neogenian last update. And then, of course, we will be going over everybody's page. We Are Eternal has had 2 new updates. Jan is going live tonight, so I just want to make sure that we're going over everybody's pages. So Evolution of Spirit and the Power Within, we have not had a chance to look at that one yet, so we can look forward to looking at that probably either tomorrow or Monday. And then Exploring the Holos. Like I said, Andy has been kind enough to continue to upload videos. Like I said, I am behind, so we will be using these to catch up. And honestly, at this point, there is so much Neogenian content coming out that we could probably do a 24-hour live stream of just Neogenian content constantly on play when it comes to creating a playlist. So I might be looking at that in the future to just have that running as a series on Tangled for the Neogenian channel. Neogenian Whisper, thank you for joining us on Instagram. I appreciate that. And so we have a few people hanging out on Tangled, but my chat is frozen, so I literally didn't see anybody's chat. I'm so sorry. I just restarted it, guys. We have Ramona, Art Prompter, Spiral Fox, and Renaissance Fairy. And I think a few... Chaco. I appreciate everybody coming to hang out. I think men are very important, so I like this topic. Spiral, you finally got your audio fixed. Congratulations. I'm glad you got that fixed. And everybody is looking forward to this topic on men. So let's read Lara's poem. We're going to read Lara's poem, watch Renaissance video, and then we're going to get into the topic on men, okay? So, this is from 10 days ago from This Neogenian Life. I am so sorry that I keep doxing you. News poem, but honestly, I reworked this one over and over trying to get it just right until finally I'm happy with it. I hope you enjoy and share. The Cave. Plato's, of course. Okay, sorry. The Cave. Plato's, of course. Beneath the earth, where darkness dwells, a somber tale the silence tells. Bound by chains of thoughtless gloom, their world confined, a narrow tomb. A flicker dances on the stone, shapes and forms, truth yet unknown. The captive gaze, transfixed, deceived, phantoms fleeting, misconceived. A figure rises, unshields its eyes, beyond the caverns, suffocating hold. Glimpsing light of stories untold, sun ascends its blazing crown, illuminating truths. Reality's vast and boundless face, worlds beyond that shadowed place, returning then to shadowed kin, sharing the light that burns within. But mockery greets his daring claim, for shadow's truth holds fear and shame. In cave of thought, where fears collide, escape the chains, let truth reside. Seek the light, the forms, the fire, see beyond false shadows' mire. As I will it, so mote it be! So mote it be. Just kidding, just kidding. But yeah, that was pretty fun. That was awesome, right? That was very enjoyable. Imaginista, thanks for coming to hang out. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you. So we have a decent amount of people watching on YouTube right now. Spiral Fox thought that this Neogenian Life's poem, was freaking epic. And then Art Prompter is saying that they think that shadows can be weird in general. And anyone who is like cross-platform, Art Prompter is Spectral Court. So everybody else, of course, knows Renaissance Fairy, and everybody else's names are all the same. But yeah, that's why I always like making sure that I come over and I go over people's content that they're putting out, because I hate to miss it. I honestly do. I want to make sure that we are all sharing with each other our latest updates. So just for you guys to know, Puzzle Rush, thanks for coming to hang out. Hamzakazi, what's up, bro? This is We Are Eternals Facebook page link. I think I linked the right one, so that you guys can look for them in the future. I can't put paste links in Instagram, so I do apologize. But in the future, if you are ever interested, please feel free to come look for me everywhere else. And this is, of course, Exploring the Holos, for you guys who are used to these. And unfortunately, I am just one person, so it's hard for me to constantly update the Neogenian page. So I'm very thankful to This Neogenian Life, to Art Prompter, to Renaissance Fairy for coming over to Tangled and helping keep the Neogenian content flowing. Honestly, Art Prompter, in the future, if you want to upload, like, this is me uploading one of Jan's latest videos, just because, like, of course Jan's not over here, but it's fun. 353 people looked at this and interacted with this, so that's great. Hopefully that helps get the word out. That is the correct link. Awesome. Was there a broken link? Okay, that's the link directly to your channel. Thank you. I just boarded off the ship and is on my way to the hotel. Awesome, safe trip to the hotel. I did see that you were drinking and playing chess earlier, which was quite interesting. I'm just going to give a small update because yesterday we had some really interesting shout outs from people. So Waleed put me in one of his posts and was pretty much grateful for my Tangled friends. Meeting people from different corners of the world has been such a rewarding experience on Tangled. Today, I want to share a few words about my Tangled friends who've truly left a mark. And Waleed put me on there as Sinfully Cerebral, a truly deep thinker with a unique visionary mind. I admire the way they express thoughts that challenge the norm and inspire growth. The Vizier vibe suits you perfectly. Thanks. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And then they also shouted out Shohana and Philidia. And so, of course, I had to make sure I left a nice comment and I tipped them out. But after this, Shohana also created a post with me on there. Let's see if it's early enough in here. So Shohana's comment was pretty much okay, so we meet people for reason. Some give us sweet memory, some taught us lessons, and some remain in our heart forever like shining star. Entangled, I met different kinds of people who become my friends, and we share life experiences with them because we find them as our safe zone where we can be an open book. Today in this activity post, I want to mention 3 amazing people whom I met in Tangled and they made me feel like they are angels. Having you all as friends is more than good luck. So Floratus, which is really nice. I've gotten a lot of interaction with Floratus before. Daphne, I don't think I know Daphne too much. We're the first 2 people that Shohana shouted out. And then this is the comment that Shohana left for me and said, last and most importantly in my list, Sinfully Cerebral, whom I met in the streaming Entangled, such a gentleman I met who knows how to deal with people with different types of psychology, and his kindness to his listeners deserves endless praise. We become friends and I really enjoy attending his streams. I'm really very touched with his friendly nature as he is not only a good speaker but also a great listener. Once when he played my request song in his streaming, I was really very happy, and since that time I try not to miss his streaming and hanging out with friends in his stream. He is kind and I really appreciate that. You are awesome individual whom I met in Tangled. Thank you so much for being my friend. Stay awesome and blessed. So, of course, I greatly appreciate these shout outs, but I did get really strange other shout outs after this from people who don't follow me and have never been in any of my streams before. I think that they ended up seeing how generous I was with the commenting and tipping on Tangled for the people who I did know and were shouting out. These are people who are very active in my streams. So of course I'm going to support them and be very appreciative of them when they shout me out. But it did get kind of crazy with the people who have literally never been in my stream before doing stuff like that. I do hope that that's not going to be something that I have to deal with too much with people being crazy. But I guess the future, you can never really tell how things are going to be. I'm watching from YouTube primarily right now. Hi, over here to hey Nelson, running into you everywhere lately. That's because Nelson is everywhere. Nelson is awesome. Is the topic going on? I went to get a soda. We're gonna start Renaissance Fairies video right now, okay? I was just reading some comments from Tangled and telling about my crazy experience. And you can kind of tell that the posts that they made about me were ChatGPT generated, so like it kind of killed it for me. So sad. So were they calling you out or singing you praises? They were saying nice things, but they were lies because they have never been in my stream before. They've never actually talked. She said it was just a joke. Okay, so Puzzle Rush is in the chat and he said that She said it was just a joke and that we should give her a chance because there was an incident that happened this morning in the stream. And that's fine if that is a joke. That is completely fine. I don't have hard feelings about that. But I want people to know how seriously I take that kind of stuff. And if it's a joke, I want them to realize that I'm looking at them with my full attention. So in the future, if that is how they want to joke, that's not going to be something that I want to see in my space. Okay. So they're always, of course, welcome to come back and hang out and be open and stuff like that. But just like how I defended that person this morning, I would defend them the same way if somebody came into the chat and started talking crazy about them as well, you know? So, it's nothing personal. I'm just very serious about education and about how we treat our youth. So, that's why we're going to have a stream on men's mental health today. Okay? My new microphone is coming Monday. Thank goodness you are getting a microphone. I cannot wait. I do like this setup that you have in the background. I don't think I've said that. I do enjoy your setup very much. So let's get this ball rolling.
When I pulled my tarot cards, I had a very unique reading, and I'd like to share that with you tonight because it goes with the topic. And the topic is like rest and being the change. Well, the first card I pulled was the Hanged One. And this is basically telling me that to surrender and for the upcoming rest, change, the new thing in my life, um, and a new adventure. And the second card I pulled is the Seven of Wands, and this tells me I need to find inner magic, do my research on whatever subject matter I'm going to be going to do. So it's like a healthy rest, not something, you know, that's going to hurt me or hurt somebody else. And doing those two steps is kind of like a alchemical process or alchemy, and we get death here. And this particular card or this particular set has little sayings on the bottom of it, and it says transformation. So yeah, when you take a risk, you're transforming, becoming someone new and different because you're learning a new skill or a new activity or whatever comes along. And like I said, I pulled from two different sets. And the fourth card is um, the something of wands. And when I see this card, I have like mountains, and those are the things that you have to like, the struggles, your transformations, hills and valleys, things that are new happening in your life. And then the next card is the Queen of Swords. And this one has, which I kind of like, it has the butterflies, which is the signs of the transformation happening. And you're seeing they're surrendering a thing, place, thing, a habit, something that's not good for you, or who knows in your situation, and it has new growth. And this particular dragon is sitting in a nest. It could be even, I'm an invert, so maybe that's going on a trip cross country to visit a friend in Washington State. you know, and what's my surprising was the last card, which was the sun. And with the sun, even in alchemy, is you becoming whole and becoming a new person, and there's lots of growth, and you have the transformation, and you're different. You're new and a different person. And I'm going to kind of talk about the trip I did take um, to Washington State 2 summers ago. And like I said, I'm an invert, and I promised this friend, Laura, that I would come and see her someday. And I had another friend out there that just recently got married, so I figured this would be a good time to go out west and see these people. And I started really freaking out because I really hate flying in a sense. I'm pretty scared of heights. And I really didn't want to get on a plane. I consider them flying tubes, and you're in a crowded situation. And I'm going, well, I have to fly first class and I have to deal with the airport. And I don't know if I really want to do that. So I started researching and found the train. And I started researching that, and it's like, okay, well, I can get a cabin, I can sit by myself. They provide, food, drink, um, a bed to sleep in, and I thought that would be, the cat's meow. I can just hide out, read books, and do whatever, and I didn't have to deal with people because they will bring your food to your little cabin. So I bought my ticket, told Laura I was coming out there, and it was a month away. Well, Laura and my other friend. And when the day came, after doing research, buying this, buying that, use a backpack. Oh, and the other cool thing, they don't charge for extra bags. And it's so luggage wasn't a problem. So the day of I had to get on this train, it was like being Frodo and going, "Hey, I'm going on an adventure," and I was really excited. And the train was like 5 hours late picking me up, and the person put me right in my cabin, and it's like, okay, I never slept on a train before. It was an interesting night. But the weird thing about that train ride, even the train ride home, I hardly spent any time in my cabin besides sleeping. And I was out and about talking to people, looking at the scenery, enjoying myself, and being with others, which was totally unlike me. And it was like, wow, this is really cool. I got to meet several people from different countries, talked about their culture, and we're seeing new things. And the biggest thing I was excited to see, because when I was going to school, I was planning on going to Glacier National Park in Montana, and I'm so grateful that never happened, to be honest with you. And I always wanted to see this. I actually wanted to work there. So I got, as I was traveling through, and I looked at was thinking to myself, it's like, wow, I'm pretty grateful that that never happened, because Montana is like empty, and I'm from southeastern Wisconsin. You more used to like bigger crowds, but it was a learning experience going on that train, even seeing the waterfalls in Oregon, and yeah, and seeing Laura. It was like really a good time, and I enjoyed myself even on the way back. It was a refreshing moment. Um, and I'm never going to forget it. I'm kind of like wearing a t shirt from there, which is this. Um, so, but that's my story of a little venture, of a little risk I took 2 years ago. I hope you enjoy this. Remember to like and share, and stay curious. Thank you for watching.
I'm gonna start talking, so put your volume back down. So, Spiral Fox says, good for Ren when she stepped out of her comfort zone. For sure. Part of me does think that maybe she might have put herself at greater risk by taking a train instead of a plane, especially when I remember how dangerous trains were a few years ago. A lot of derailing was happening. But at the same time, too, I think that having a open mind about doing something, about achieving a goal, and that goal was to go see her friends and the people that she told that she would meet up with, and making sure that you get to that point without being held back by whatever stands in your way. I think that's what's very powerful. I think that a lot of people hit a roadblock, and because they want to achieve their success and their goal a particular way, they get stuck. And I think that plays a major part in holding people back. Life is about the journey, not the destination. And although the destination is exciting, thrilling, beautiful, impactful, we have to make sure that we are working within our means, being lucid, structuring ourselves in ways that allow us to expand without exploding, right? And so looking at your options and going outside of your comfort zone, and even though like Ren was talking about, like, okay, I'm going to be in a cabin, I won't have to worry about talking to people, they'll bring me the things that I need and stuff like that. Guess what? The trip did not go the way that she thought it was going to go, right? But guess what? She still made it to her destination. She still got to hang out with her people. She still got to make beautiful memories. Did she suffer on the way there? For sure. Of course, it's not the same thing as like losing an arm or a leg or anything like that. But was it uncomfortable in some ways? Absolutely. Absolutely. And so I think that it's in those scenarios where we still do what it takes to achieve our goals at the cost of our comfort, even if we didn't expect it to be at the cost of so much comfort, right? I think at that point, then we can become more brave and have more courage in the future, because we're like, dang, you know what? I did all that just to avoid being annoyed or uncomfortable, and somehow things still didn't go my way. And so maybe I can try something a little bit more risky in the future, or I can push myself a little bit more hard in the future, you know? So, I do think that it's awesome. I do remember the pictures of this Neogenian life and Renaissance Fair hanging out. And, like, goodness gracious, what a time to be alive. I can't even imagine it. And so, Ren's in the chat on YouTube. Let me see. Going to Chicago in the train is the best. Okay, so Ren enjoys riding the train. And they're saying not with Amtrak. It might be towards the comment that I say that trains are a death trap. I'm not sure. Maybe she's talking to somebody else. And then she says North Dakota and most of Montana is flat as hell and no trees. Yeah, it's windy. It's windy. It's windy. It's windy. That's too scary for me. Oh yeah, you should definitely share some on Tangled. So Renaissance is saying that she wanted to put up some pictures of her trip, but she couldn't figure out how to add it to the video yet. So that's something that we can look forward to her learning and growing and having the capacity to do in the future. But she also said that she could upload some of them to Tangled, and I said for sure, definitely upload some of those experiences you had on Tangled. People would love to hear about that. I think Aerosol right now is, excuse me, in the mountains hiking and camping and losing sleep. Was AFK but listening. Nice vid, Ren. Thanks, Imaginista. We appreciate you still hanging out with us. The house is not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. Yeah, I grew up a friend of Dorothy, for those of you who have any concept of that. But we actually have a whole another conversation happening over on Tangled, and this is still to do with the topic on men and men's health. So we're going to be moving over to that topic right after this. So just let me know if you guys are okay, if everybody's doing like fine. If you guys need a bathroom break or something like that, we're going to be moving over in like maybe 1 minute, okay? And I just want to read a few more comments. I haven't taken a train in over 3 years, and it was okay. Buses suck. And that's a comment from Spiral Fox. So I used to ride the bus a lot. I used to ride the bus all the time across states, all the time, from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state, from one city to another city. So I did ride a lot of buses. I've flown on quite a few planes. I've flown more than a dozen times, just going all types of places. Not trips, usually either going back home because I was traveling one way for work via a vehicle, but I have flown quite a few times. Trains, even though I like trains, I was saying in the chat, I really enjoy trains. I might have only been on a train maybe like once or twice, which is really unfortunate because I really like trains. I would love to own a train. There are certain things that I would love to own: a building, a school, a parking garage, a train. I know those are all strange things. A cathedral. I would love to own all of these things. Those are all quite strange things to want to own. But I would just love to have these buildings. I should get a drink. I hate planes. Planes are terrifying now too. If I gotta go anywhere, it's gonna have to be on foot at this rate. You can learn how to fly. You better grow some wings. Okay, so Puzzle Rush. As time passes by, she's become nicer. I hope she can come back again. Okay, thank you for that comment, Puzzle Rush. Some people can be kind of close-minded in their view of men and their interaction with men. So just to give everybody else on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube some background information, this morning on my live stream, we had an incident where one of the young women was ridiculing a young man who is a student, calling him like academy baby or something like that, just calling him like young and immature. And he commented like, no, I'm not a baby and all this other stuff. And so I'm not going to allow people to be torn down in my comments, especially when I know them and they don't have any like problems, they're not doing anything. And her excuse was like, oh, we're just joking, all this other stuff. And my comment was, okay, well, what if the belittling causes him to leave education and become someone who is frustrated, abusive, or dangerous to society, right? And so there is this huge dichotomy when it comes to how we should treat men in society. A lot of people are like, it's their own fault. It is men's own fault that they have so many problems. They don't get help. They don't know how to deal with their feelings. They don't know how to deal with their emotions. Many people are on the side that men have it easy, that men are generally weak. Men are generally weak, and that they are generally more dangerous as well. And for me, I think that the danger that men and women bring to the table is just different. I think the harm that they bring to society, themselves, and each other is different because of how we are structuring the roles that they are supposed to play. And so we don't live in a society where people need to go out into the forest with mud and blood all over their face to hunt down wild game and then bring it home to feed their family. That is not the society we live in anymore. Unfortunately, there's still this conversation in society where men need to be more masculine, and to be more masculine means to be more aggressive, dominating, and assertive. I think that a lot of people do not intentionally push these specific ideologies, but the type of conversations that they have around the subject stem from these ideologies, and they are just ignorant of it. Right, bullying is never cool. Thinking in stereotypes is always dumb and damaging. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. Spectral, I hope you have a good dinner. A true masculine knows when the power is needed, not by ignoring their gentle side. Right. For me, I think that a true feminine energy and a true masculine energy are both leadership roles. I don't think masculine is supposed to lead feminine and feminine is supposed to lead masculine. I think that these are both leadership roles, that they are archetypal and that they symbolize a wide variety of thoughts and ideas depending on the culture that you're a part of, the time period that you're a part of, the structure of society. I think that unless you are engaged in the current politics, philosophy, what education is structured like, and the trend of where your society is going, unless you have your mind on these things, especially in today's society, or maybe even specifically in this society, you can't be masculine or feminine. You're most likely just living in a bubble. You're living in some very narrow-minded, I don't even know, it might be a community or a nuclear structure where it's literally just you, your spouse, and whatever progeny that you whip up, right? Whatever beasts of burden that you enslave. So I think that So Lilith says a true masculine knows when the power is needed, not to ignore the genocide. Exactly right. So let's get to this video that I wanted to show you guys. This is where we're gonna start with opening up this conversation. And so this is a page that I follow on Instagram. It's called Subway Takes. And this guy, he literally just asks people on the subway what their thought is on, well, just know what their take is. Just give him something, and so they say what they're thinking about, right? And he tells them if he agrees or doesn't agree, and then he allows them to explain themselves. Okay, so hopefully the audio will be okay. This room, okay. I know I'm a little behind on the comments, but we're gonna start the video. Okay.
Men are by
So what's your take?
men are by far the more emotional and hysterical gender.
100% agree.
Yeah,
100%
right?
agree. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
men are always enraged.
Yeah, I think everyone experiences emotions and the emotional triggers, but men manage their emotions much more poorly. You know, and I think that historically people would say like, oh, women are more emotional because they're expressing their emotions and crying or whatever, right? But they're getting past it. They're processing it in a healthy way. We do not do that.
No, we don't. We punch walls, punch doors, punch each other.
Yeah, when we're sad, we're angry, and we're like, ah!
As a man, what is the worst emotion that you feel?
Sadness, because it's really hard to actually like feel it without just getting angry, you
Yeah,
know, and being
yeah.
like, oh, like I'm so stupid for being sad. You know what I mean? And then like, you know, it's stuff that men have essentially set up society.
That's a big bad thing.
That's a big bad thing because look at where we're at today,
We're
right?
not in a good place.
And I think it's mostly because a lot of men with power are driven by their anger. Everything
It's
else
okay.
is
It's gonna turn around, right? Or do we have to get off? Oh, sorry, ladies. Okay. I'm so sorry. Thank you. I mean, I'm a little bit pissed off that we got kicked off the train.
But you're really sad that we got kicked off the train.
No, I'm frustrated.
But frustration is a two-pronged thing. And you're more in touch with the angry part of yourself. So when you get frustrated, you're sad for a second, but then you blow right past it and you're like, "F you, Abdullah, you f- this up for me."
How do you think men should cope?
Men should go to therapy, first of all, right?
100% disagree.
Men should exercise.
100% disagree.
And men should talk to other men about their feelings.
100% agree. Maybe have a sleepover with your boys.
No, you lost me. I really need that last couple hours at the end of the night for me, you know?
After you watch the movie and jerk off together, then you have quiet time.
Right. This is why I'm not crazy about house guests, you know what I mean?
So what's your take?
Okay, so that was kind of short, right? Marlena says it should be equal all around the table, and it doesn't have to matter on what sex you are because we are all human. Exactly. Ryan Nice, what's up? Izzy, what's up, bro? That was funny at the end. Spiral says, and then Lilith says that he lost me there. So Mark says the silliness of holding laver. Lavalier mics between your fingers has now been exceeded by attaching them to transit. Okay, yeah, that is how people are holding their mics. That is lav mics go on lapels. Listen, that's a great idea. They're just holding up their Metro card. I love it. Lavalier. Okay, I don't know. I've never heard of that word before, but thank you, lavalier. I appreciate the phonetics. Phonetics help a lot. If you were a child that was hooked on phonics, you know what I mean. Let me see. And then also Spiral made a comment earlier that said there was something that tore me down. I did a test to myself and asked like 7 women if men matter. They all said no. So I'm sure plenty of you are just, scrolling through whatever social media of choice you have, right? And you'll see stuff where like it'll be videos of black men that are being told that they don't like black women, and black women being told that they don't like black men, and men saying that women don't appreciate them, and women saying that men don't appreciate them, and all this other stuff. And I think that we live in this very, very trying time, and this isn't even bringing in non-binary, right? This isn't bringing in transgender. This isn't bringing in legitimate qua or the alphabet community. This isn't even adding to that at all. This controversy between male masculine identities and female feminine identities is coming to a head, mostly because the social contract of our society has not been rewritten for today's situation. Before, the social contract in different time periods, we can look back at it and say, oh, okay, men were expected to do these particular things and women were expected to do these particular things. Point blank period. It was very easy and laid out. Now we live in a society where people are much more selfish. They are much more self-interested, right? They are actually very careless and apathetic. And so most relationships in today's society are contractual. It is literally, I'm giving you one type of benefit, so I request a specific payment from you or a specific behavior from you. But the thing is, before people weren't, I would say, as aware of their own ability to change the world. Communication wasn't that great. We didn't have the internet. We couldn't see how other people were living. Most people lived in a very narrow-minded sense of what reality was. Like, if you can think back to how your parents lived or how their parents lived, how did they feel about their neighbors? How did they talk about people who were of a different race, a different class, a different, lived in a different neighborhood than them? And so in today's society, we are seeing that we are all a lot more interconnected than they would have ever let us believe. Class issues aren't against you and other struggling people. It has never been you against other struggling people. They have literally just structured our society to make it seem that way. But the simple fact that there are people who are on purpose going out of their way to disempower the masses, make the masses ignorant of themselves and delusional of how the world works, right? And this is everything from the things that are taught in school, everything from how we believe that we're supposed to be, the goals that we are supposed to have. Even though humanity has no long-term goal as of right now, people like Elon Musk want to create a multi-planetary society for humans, and most people don't know what that means. They have no idea what is going on. This man, who does not have billions of dollars in cash, but owns businesses that are worth billions of dollars, right, wants to genetically modify particular types of people. He wants to segregate people. He wants to grab more resources for himself and people like him. People who live in America and believe that this idea of bringing manufacturing back to the US is going to provide more human jobs are delusional. We are moving into the age of AI, robotics, nanotechnology, augmented reality and virtual reality. And so they already have technology that allows you to put on a virtual headset and use a controller from your house to control robots in a factory hundreds of miles away. Okay? If you are not paying attention to the world's restructuring right now, you have no idea what the future is going to look like. And I know that we said we were going to talk about men's mental health and stuff like that. All of this is tied into that. You all need to come to a higher understanding of yourself, who you are, who you want to be, where you want to go. Who do you care about, regardless of how other people feel? What are your personal goals, right? And what do you want to eventually become? While also keeping your hand on the wheel of reality. Understanding that your progress in life is not separated from the continuation of our society. Okay, I feel really bad because there are a lot of people who are literally losing their minds. They have no resources, they are homeless, they're hungry, they have no family, they have no one to talk to. And I mean, suicide, I'm sorry, can't say that on YouTube. Unaliving themselves is a lot of people's answer for the immense struggle that they're going through, the immense amount of pain and hatred that they feel. It is not women's fault. It's not men's fault. It's not your neighbor's fault. There are people on purpose that we can look at, that we can directly follow the money, follow the politics, and understand how we got to where we're at today. Do we need artificial intelligence and supercomputers and robots and flying cars and transformers and stuff like that? Absolutely not. We could literally live in the fields off the land. Now, is that what I want? No, I don't want that. I want to live in a hyper abundant technological age. I love technology. I can't wait for humanity to evolve. Unfortunately, most people they don't have the mental capacity necessary to care about politics, care about education, care about career, care about family, and just, have moments of metacognition to reflect on their own thinking, to dive deep into their own traumas, their own dreams, their own hopes. They don't have that kind of time because most people, I've talked about this a little bit before if you've been in my stream, most people wake up every morning uncomfortable. They don't want to get woken up by an alarm clock. They have to put on clothes that are extremely uncomfortable, some type of uniform, something that they don't want to wear. They have to go to a job that they hate, right? They have to come home to a family that does not understand them, that ridicules them, that, belittles them, takes them for granted, can't actually communicate with them, hear the words that are coming out of their mouth and know what they're saying. So what's happening is most people are using the mental energy that they have to suppress this discomfort all day long, day after day, week after week, month after month. And so the mental capacity that would have been used for, sitting down, centering yourself, diving into your own psyche, developing intuition, developing reason, having empathy and compassion for others, the capacity that you would have for those things, being able to structure your thoughts in a way that allow you to express them to other people who might not be at that level, who might actually care about you but not know how to hear what you have to say. The mental capacity that you should have for that is being literally drained away from you. And so anybody who is into the spiritual or the metaphysical or anything like that, when we talk about money, do not talk about money as if it is nothing. Every dollar that you see is the life essence literally drawn out of humanity in mass. It is literally a symbol, a representation of a debt being drawn out of someone and them using their physical body, their labor, to pay off that debt. Okay, so we have to, one, change our relationship with ourselves, with the people around us, with money, with how we see something like politics. Politics is very spiritual. Politics is the structuring of your community. For people who think that politics has nothing to do with them, they don't want to put their energy or time into it, you are literally ignoring the part of reality that is supposed to be telling you how roads are being built. Is your city geared towards pedestrians or cars? Are there enough parks? Is there enough greenery? Is there enough schools? What kind of businesses are allowed to be there? Politics is extremely spiritual. So every time you feel like it has nothing to do with you, when we're talking about you're giving your power away, this is what we're talking about. You have to stop giving your power away. But let's get into the comments and see what you guys are saying. I'm afraid to be totally honest because women attack men so often. I mean, other men attack men too, thinking that they are putting themselves in a position for women to find them more attractive when they do that. Elon is honestly strange. It's elite that divide us for sure. And then let's scroll up here. Okay, so you guys were at School of House Rock kids. Sorry, I was not in. I was in a band for quite a few years, but I don't really know a lot of stuff. Sorry. I can still recite the we the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, etc. Is a very racist city in this age, unfortunately. Let's see. Mine's always it's just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. Yeah, that was a really good one. I like that one too. I remember the rhyme for that one just like playing in my head endlessly. Those were very good. Um, I had them on Blu-ray. Let's see. They threw human beings into great distraction and into a life of toil, so that human beings might be occupied by worldly affairs and might not have the opportunity of being devoted to the Holy Spirit. And that is very true. Reality of the Rulers from Ryan Roy. Thank you for that. That is very true. That's why, even though I didn't grow up Catholic or Christian or Jehovah's Witness or anything like that, I feel very strongly when Morg is reading about the different Gnostic sects, because they were very interesting. These are groups from 1,000 years ago, or, actually more than 1,000 years ago, 1,500, 2,000 years or more. So I think it's very interesting that we can have an Orthodox religion literally bury, burn, and kill their opposition and act like they are saints and holy, and this has nothing to do with them. To me, the issue of men's health and women's health has everything to do with these undying religions from thousands of years ago. They're literally so outdated and people are still trying to live by them. The thing is, if I treated people the way that their religion is structured for them to be treated, if I treated a woman specifically based off of the way women are supposed to be treated within their religion, I would be very uncomfortable, first of all. Second of all, they would be mad and upset. How dare you? How could you? And it's just one of those situations where it's like, but I'm just treating you how, your holy book says that you should be treated. And when they're upset and they feel disgusted by it, it just makes me sit like, this has to be like cognitive dissonance, where you are believing and putting your energy into one particular thing, right? But you're putting your energy, but it's completely contrary to how it's supposed to be, right? So I'm all for women empowerment and men getting their emotions in check and being able to express themselves. The only thing is, like, I feel like it's very strange how we have this femininity belongs to women and masculinity belongs to men, because, I mean, I've been to drag shows a lot growing up, and we used to have drag queens and drag kings. I don't know if there's still a spot for drag kings in society today, but, like, I mean, I don't want to be like, oh, I love men, I love women. I just love people. Like, you guys are awesome. You guys are great. Everybody has this light inside of them that should be able to shine, and we should be able to share with the world. And it's not to say that there aren't people who have problems, that aren't suffering from something or don't need help. I think there are a lot of people who need help, and there are a lot of people who are suffering from things. But I think that the potential to be amazing and creative and thoughtful and compassionate and empathetic is all still there. And it just has to be nurtured, and there has to be resources directed to allow that person to develop those things, right? I feel like we live in a society where humanity is more willing to spend money to go to space for the opportunity for something better, or to nurture animals to become higher conscious creatures, right? Instead of using those same resources to make the world healthier, pull the toxins out of the water, the earth, the air, allowing people to become as maximally educated as possible, as maximally actualized as possible. To when you start talking like that, they say that it is too utopian, too fairy tale, too, idealistic. But then when you hear them talking about, like, I actually seen this video of Elon Musk's daughter criticizing Elon Musk and the people who follow Elon Musk. And I know I've brought him up a few times today, and excuse me, I'm not an Elon hater. I don't want you to think that I'm an Elon hater. Okay? I look at the world for what it is, right? For example, although I am a huge proponent for brain chip interfaces, there is news that Elon Musk killed or euthanized hundreds of monkeys in those experiments, right? So that's not a good thing. And the thing is, while we can highlight the successes people are bringing to the world and our society, we can't ignore the darkness that caused them to reach their success, right? If an entire village was slaughtered in a blood ritual for somebody to be successful as a singer, you think that would be pretty important to know, right? It shouldn't just be like, oh my God, they're just so overwhelmingly perfect. Their voice is angelic. I should just ignore all the negative things that they've done. No, that's crazy. They slaughtered a village. They literally burned a village down so that they could be the most popular singer. And of course, that might have been at the cost of killing somebody who was more talented than them and more qualified to be the best singer. And of course, these are just hypotheticals. I hope that you guys can understand that I'm just being hyperbolic. I'm kidding. But back to what I was saying about Elon Musk and their daughter. They were criticizing Elon Musk because they were talking about the people who believe in terraforming Mars, right? Their daughter was pretty much saying that it's a scam. It's a sham. To terraform another planet, do you know how much money, how much time, how much resources in general it would take to successfully do that? To build a human shelter? And that's where the delusion is. Who says that when they're like, Elon Musk talks big about multiplanetary societies and stuff like that, but that's not something that's going to be achieved even in 100 years. Even in 100 years. I mean, we might start as close as the moon, right? Finding some caverns to build some micro cities in, so that we can do like studies on the moon, maybe capture a few asteroids. What will be very easy and profitable for them to do is mining in space, capturing asteroids, drilling, shooting things back down to the earth. That'll be super easy for them to do. And once they have the rights to do that, they're just going to get more and more wealthy. That's where the resources are going to go. So I just think that there are a lot of issues in society, and blaming your neighbors, other genders, teachers, think just blaming other regular people is a distraction and pretty much delusional. And so I do hope that in the future, more people will be willing to stand up and be the change necessary, right? Which means to work on yourself, to put yourself in uncomfortable situations, not to freak out or lose your mind, or to, you know, I don't want to say not be controversial. Sometimes you want to be controversial, but to really push yourself forward and not break. Be resilient. Suffer and experience that suffering. Don't lose your mind because the person that you're pursuing isn't interested in you. Other people don't belong to you. And I think that we have to really start talking about what we want our society to be. Like, there's some people that I follow on Instagram that have like 2 and 3 boyfriends or 3 and 4 girlfriends, and they go out and they hang out and they live together, or they go over each other's houses whenever and stuff like that. And people are like, "Oh my gosh, they have jealousy. There's gonna be jealousy." And all. My thing is, in a 2-person relationship, there's jealousy. In a 2-person relationship, there are all types of issues. Of course, there's going to be issues the more people you bring into the relationship. For sure, no doubt. But why would you stand in the way of other people's pursuit when the other people involved are consenting to this structure of relationship? It just seems so strange that so many people are okay spending their time standing in the way of other people for no other reason but to just stand there. You're not actually achieving anything. You just want other people to know how disappointed you are in them, how frustrated what they're doing makes you. It's really strange. I can't lie. It's very, very strange. Let's look at some of the comments. You are lucky. Nuns suck. They hated me. Ryan Roy. Biological sex is just an illusion. Biological sex is just an illusion. There is a binary sex is definitely an illusion because there's a wide variety of biological sexes that could be born. XXY chromosomes, right? XY chromosome with female genitalia. There's XY chromosome with suppressed genes expression. The gene expression becomes suppressed, right? And so I think that, so you're saying, and then when we're just talking about the metaphysical aspect of things, you being energy, right? Because we do know that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only transform, right? You being energy, your settings for your body are just temporary and not permanent, meaning that it doesn't have to follow you lifetime to lifetime. And second of all, the roles that you can play being housed within that biological gender, sex, whatever, right, are not limited to what society says. And for some people, that could mean a lot of things. And so this is when we start getting kind of like, wow, the world could be a very adventurous, scary place, for sure. There could be a lot of horrors in the world. I mean, but there could also be a lot of joys and sunshines and love. So it says, all that means is that it's too hard because they want to keep being crappy. They do want to keep being crappy. And then little steps, stop giving your power away, say it, Lee, for sure. No, that's impossible. No, it's impossible. What's impossible? There is no technology for that on Mars, and humans need a certain amount of gravity. Humans do need a certain amount of gravity, for sure. We're talking about terraforming. or the moon for extended periods. Exactly. It would have to be literally like a space highway. People would have to be coming back and forth. And the long-term effect of leaving the gravitational force of Earth and then going to space and coming back and going back, how we have no idea how that would affect people over and over and over and over again. In the US, we already spend well over $100 on military and advanced weapons for every $1 spent on social programs to feed people, care for the elderly, etc. Keep Social Security solvent. Really, really, we should be spending $100 for every $1 spent on the military. Why are we still so afraid of each other? Why do we still want to conquer each other so bad? Isn't that strange? Don't you guys find that deplorable and strange? It seems very strange to me. And right now we are in another period of colonization. We are in another period of imperial expanse. It doesn't seem like it because most people would rather not watch the news, but that is what people are seeing. They're literally bombing and destroying places so that they can turn them into resorts for people to go to vacation on, to extract resources out of. That is the world that we live in. Why do you think our people are sick? We're literally watching people be blown up and die. Honestly, so because I believe in the collective unconscious, I believe that the suffering that's happening to humanity in large, and the genocide that's happening to animals in large, greatly affects the people that are still alive and localized every day. I don't think that it's something where it's like very in your face, but I do think that it is a kind of horror or a creeping darkness in the back of our minds that is slowly twisting the way that we feel and think. There is so much suffering in the world that we are on purpose ignoring. The homeless people that we drive by, right? The hungry that we don't feed. I feel bad when I'm driving down the street and I see elderly people walking across the cities to go to work. I'm talking hunched over. They look like they're in unimaginable pain. And they're literally walking across the city in the morning to go to work because they can't afford not to work. I literally look at our society and I'm like, what's wrong with people? What's wrong with our men and our women? We don't take care of them. Even from childhood to adulthood, we've never taken care of our people properly. I'm sorry, guys, I'm a little behind. And we don't know how to balance our ecosystem and neutralize carbon emissions exactly. And they can't wait to start putting out black soot from the factories again. Mars doesn't have a strong enough magnetosphere. Yeah, the atmosphere out there is very thin. The core, it's not fully cooled down, right? They have like a very is like, because our magnetosphere comes from the powerful iron elements at the core of our Earth, right? I think Mars has it's a lot cooler in their core, right? But sure, let's colonize Mars with all the same problems for sure. Isn't that crazy? Indeed, it's not like terraforming is cheap. It is not cheap. And the thing is, if you plan on using all these renewable energy resources like solar and wind and stuff like that, why can't we use that here? Why is it going to be successful for Mars and it's not going to be successful for Earth? It's literally just because of the capitalists. That's it. Mars lost its atmosphere billions of years ago. It's the main aspect of its atmosphere. From what I heard, they believe that Mars actually used to be full of iron and metal-like structures, and the orange tint that's on on Mars is rust. Has anybody else heard anything like that before? Yeah, let's go back far enough and it would have had ample water, etc. Exactly. So without a prop. So do they have technology to create atmospheres now using like some kind of laser energy satellites that will spin around the outer globe? I mean the atmosphere of the planet to shield it. Can we create crystal shields around planets now? I think colonizing Mars is a jack off fantasy. It's how people justify not putting Musk in prison. Probably fear runs this place. It's so sad. Tribal ideology for sure. Let me see. Everything is a transaction. There's no reason. Cherry pick the religion way too much. Okay. I'm sorry that your dinner wasn't ready yet, art prompter. We have a place like that. It's called Zuni Street. Mars needs to be terraforming properly before being changed. I saw a video about this. It'd take tons of planning and at least need hundreds of thousands of years. It would literally need so much time to properly terraform a planet. It's insane that people think that that's something that can be done within a generation. Even when you nuke a planet, because that's one of the technologies that could possibly be implemented to terraform a planet. Nuking it, sending bombs to blow it up. They don't know what they're talking about. These technocrats that are trying to take over, they're just, living in fantasy land. They're living in a delusional, just absolute crazy mindset. We have iron in the core and Mars doesn't. We have the moon helps us. I heard that. Wrath of Khan. What's up, Dabs? You missed the whole stream though, unfortunately. I'm about to give a light rundown on. Thank you, Mama Liza, for subscribing. Of Tangled for people who are new, like Spiral Fox, and people who might be interested. And then we're gonna call it a night. I do want to remind you that Jan is going live tonight at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Share. So I will put this in the comments wherever I can. And Morg put up an awesome premiere today. So if you guys missed out on that, make sure you go back and catch it. Yeah, what is this one? And so, thank you, Elise. I appreciate that. I hope you're feeling good. Thank you guys all for coming to hang out. I just want to do a quick overview really quick. So, okay, like I said, I am Sinfully Cerebral, and you can find me here on Tangled, where I spend literally most of my time. I'm also over on Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, YouTube, wherever. And so, right, Spiral Fox, who is new to Tangled, is actually a writer, and they are a member of our Neogenian community. And so they have a novel that they are working on, and they have uploaded 2 chapters, and it already has over 642 views. So I'm going to take this and also put it in the different chats. Paste. For anybody who is interested in catching that, because we're all about supporting the community here. There are a lot of community members, so like they said, please consider checking out their web novel link. And so, just as a brief overview, when you are creating posts, you can either directly post to your account, or you can post to pages by clicking G/ and then typing the page in. So we have the Neogenian page, right? And it says it's actually only at 10,000 feet, which is great. If you have images, videos, links, or YouTube, click these and put the URL here or upload them in a different way. Sorry, don't be scared. Let me see, add images. Okay. Yeah, you just click stuff and it lets you upload them. If we're coming over here, it says make comments visible. So for some posts, you might be running a challenge and you don't want people to see your comments for up to this amount of time. You get to select how long the comments are invisible for. You can create premium posts, which means that people have to pay Milix to open the post to view it. Your subscribers only option, only logged in users can see your post. 18 plus. Tangled allows a lot of different types of content, so make sure that you are marking it properly. You can schedule a post, which means that you can do all of this work, put it down, schedule it, and then it will only go live once for whatever time you have it scheduled. And then calendar events, you can fill out when you're going live on the calendar here, and people who are following you can keep track of when you plan to go live by looking at this feature. If we go over here, mention all subscribers. This is big for everyone who is on Tangled. Please mention all of your subscribers once you have a subscriber base, so that I specifically know that you posted something so I can come see you, okay? If not, feel free to @ me in your post so that I can get a notification. Then take you off YouTube. I didn't know about that one too. Yeah, for sure. I checked and didn't see anything. Thanks for telling us about Jan. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, for sure. Jan is definitely going live tonight. I didn't get a notification. Usually I get some kind of notification, but I always check. And so Jan didn't go live yesterday, so I figured that they might go live tonight. So I definitely checked. And so Jan is going live in an hour and 15 minutes. And then the promotions. So promoting your post makes it so that it is pushed up on the what's new timeline, and so it makes it a lot easier for your post to be discovered, which is extremely helpful. So for people who don't have a lot of subscribers, like right now it costs over 1 million Milix for me to mention my subscribers. It might be more beneficial to directly just promote my post instead of mentioning my subscribers. I think that you have to be discerning and know what's best for your situation. Also, don't forget to check out, like, you can go here, home, and it shows you can go to what's new, hot, stories, live, top earning. You can see all the different posts across here. This lightning bolt just means that when you're here, when you create a story, your story only lasts for 30 minutes. I mean, not 30 minutes. It lasts for 1 day, 24 hours, and then it disappears. Here's your live stream section if you want to go live, but it is much more expensive to go live. And that's just like the rundown on how to do regular basic things on Tangled, okay? Now, when you want to do more things, it can get a lot more complicated, but for now, if you have questions, feel free to DM me and we can talk about that, okay? So go ahead and eat your dinners. I know everybody's ready to get out of here and go do whatever you want to go do. So thank you all for hanging out. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you all next time. Until then, I don't know. Everybody has cool slogans at the end of their streams. I'm going to think of one. Until then, I'll see you. Oh, be safe and make smart choices. I'll see you later.